Guys, this time on Deep Junk I am going to finish what I started. I've got a Matchbox 2018 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. It's a JL series of Jeep, and I had this one apart, and I'd got these real riders for it, and that was as far as I'd gotten. I just put them on to check it and left it. Other projects got in the way, so it's time to tackle this one. Get it lifted, get it up where it should be, to where it looks right, maybe change the color, customize it, see what we can come up with. Alrighty guys, stay tuned. Alrighty, no surprises inside. This one was a new Jeep, so no big surprises, no critters living in it or anything like that. The real riders that I had put on, got those here. Chassis, got a little bit of detail there. Those guards front and rear. We've got the back side of the transmission. We can see some drive shaft detail. Looks like a skid plate right there in the center, where that would be our transfer case. On the edges, all this stuff, our lettering, that can come off. It's nice and accessible, not like the Matchbox is inside the frame rail. We could take all that stuff off and smooth the bottom of this thing real nice. Got our bumper detailing with this. Should be driving lights in there, and toe tabs up top. Those would be red on a Jeep. No big deal there. Glass, tinted glass. Interior, we've got some junk in the trunk. A chainsaw, a hatchet, a couple shovels. It looks like a tow rope. Our spare tire. And finally the body. The paint looks pretty thin on this, so I don't think we're going to have any surprises, guys. I don't think there's going to be any ugly things that rear its head. So the other Jeep, I had one last year, I did not pull the paint off of it, so I didn't see the casting underneath, but this is pretty thin, so I don't believe there'll be any problems there. We'll get it in the stripper and see. Otherwise, stay tuned. Alright, the Jeep body's got its paint all removed, and it was like we thought earlier. The paint was thin, we couldn't see much on there. You get a little casting line right there, natural, but this is pretty nice shape. Around the windows and the rockers, all through those roof panels and the lines, everything's pretty good. Got there the tail lights and the tailgate. It's not too bad all in all. It is a light casting, a thin, thin piece, but a little bit on the hood and just some general cleanup, and we will be set. Alrighty guys, we've got the Jeep mocked up. I've got it set up here so the axles will now hang down in the chassis, in the grooves that I've cut for them, and we get an idea of where the wheel and tire is gonna sit in the wheel well when it's finished and set on the ground. We don't want to build a monster truck or anything like that, but we want a capable off-roader, and we had to get those wheels and tires out of that fender wells and away from the bumpers. Now you could trim the bumpers and make a custom bumper. I'm not going to go that far. We're going to have some custom touches, but we're not going to go that far with it. And the body is cleaned up. The real faint casting lines that were on the hood and that came right off. Everything's cleaning up good, so it's looking good, guys. Alrighty guys, it's our I think that's where we're gonna keep the Jeep. That ride height right there, it looks pretty good with the wheel and tire that's on it. It's not so high that it looks stupid. but it's right there where it's high enough. It's got good ground clearance. It stays away from the bumpers, and I'm going to leave the stock bumper on it. So I think it looks pretty good right about there. We'll go ahead and I did some axle tubes, and I'll go ahead and tack them down right there, glue them in, and we'll call that permanent. Alrighty guys, you saw it all mocked up. So here's the chassis. We've got our axle tubes in there, and it's a little messy. They're glued in place, and we've got the reliefs cut in them for glue to put the axles in later. But that's what she looks like. Having cut those slots down in there, and then the axle tubes sit out because we needed the wheels to sit out even on all four corners. The furnace is kicking on. That's about it right now. We're gonna get the body cleaned up, get it ready for paint. This thing's gonna get some chassis black on it. We'll see what we can do with it. Stay tuned. Alrighty guys, welcome back to the program. We've got our chassis all in black. Our axle tubes are in place. We've got some axles cut, and our wheels are ready to roll. When we go to put it together, the body is painted. We went with this like a steel gray color. That was drying overnight. Real quick, I'm going to make a spare tire cover. Spare tire that's on the back of this is open with a mag wheel, or a sport wheel, or whatever you want to call it, is out, but there was no tread on the side of it really. I did a quick sand and then one over the front just to flatten it, and it's going to be real simple. I'm just going to take a piece of styrene, little, it's 15 thou I think, pretty thin. You can cut it with scissors. I'm going to trace out my spare tire. It doesn't have to be dead on because I actually want it to be a shade bigger, because I don't just sand it. Got a rough shape. Like I said, cut it real easy with scissors. It's like arts and crafts time at school again. Only this time you don't need the glue because I'm working with super glue. I never was much into that. There was a guy in school with us that did that. Ate the glue. He was an odd bird. They said he was hyper, and he should have been on medicine. I think his mom and dad should have whooped his ass, is what I think. But you'll have that. It was the 70s, man. It was the 70s. Take a little bit of super glue. I dig on the gel stuff. A real small bead around it. And we got plenty that hangs over the edge. Like I said, that's okay, because we're going to come back in, sand the edge off, and if we need to, we'll throw a little putty in around the edge to make it look like one constant piece all the way around, and some semi-gloss black paint will look like a vinyl spare tire cover. And that's been your Arts and Crafts Minute with Deep Junk Garage. Alrighty guys, with that styrene all dried up, or the glue's dry I should say, just went in and trimmed it real close to our spare tire, and then went around it with a little sandpaper. What I'm doing is I'm just knocking the edge off. I don't want a hard square edge. I want it to be rounded, because the tire cover is not going to be square. It's going to be a vinyl cover, and it won't be a perfectly square edge there, so you'll have a rounded edge all the way around. This is looking really good. You can see all the way around it. It's I must have got the tire sanded just right flat, because there's no openings for us to fill with putty or anything. So a little bit more just to work that edge and make it a little bit more round. We can finish sanding on that, and then the interior tub here, we're going to paint these the fenders to match the Jeep, and detail those, the outsides of them. We've got driving lights or turn signals, whatever those are, in the front, our interior, and of course all the accessories in the back of the Jeep. So that's coming up, and I think we've got our chassis ready for detail. Same thing with the body, but I do want to paint these fenders, but I wanted to get this spare tire and the heavy work here out of the way before I started painting the rest of the interior tub. Stay tuned. Alrighty, before we get started, guys, I'm going to apologize to you. I just erased a piece of video that was our interior tub. I was showing the interior tub and the detail was in it, because it is damn near impossible to see it when it's in the vehicle, the tinted glass and stuff. You might see a little when you're holding it in your hand, but on camera it is damn near impossible. So I apologize for that. There is some detail on the dash, the air vents, the touch screen, tools in the back, the chainsaw, I think, but there's a couple shovels and the hatchet and the tow rope back there, shifters, things like that. So again, I apologize. We'll get started here. The Jeep, the wheel and tire on this, it did kind of dictate the rest of the Jeep, the look. So the color that I used is called black stainless steel. Get that kind of a gray. They call it black stainless steel. I did not clear coat it. I left it in a matte look to get that. It's a more aggressive look. The wheel and tire, I guess, scale wise, we would be 36 inch wheel and tire. So at the way the Jeep's sitting, that'd be 3 or 4 inches of lift. Nothing too way out there. It's not monster truck territory or anything. We've got most of the stuff that would be black plastic or gray plastic on a Jeep. I body colored. I think it looks better this way. The fenders, the mirrors, these roof panels would be black. The interior, or the tail light surrounds and such. So the only black pieces that you have would be the door handles and the gas cap on the other side. The only bright work on the Jeep is on the fenders here, right up here, and then on the other side in the same place. That would be your trail rated badge. Up front we've got our Stinger bumper there, that bumper bar, stock bumper, the full length there across the front. We got our fog lights, the tow hooks, headlight and grille detail, and then our turn signal running light on the fender. Up on the hood, air vents, we've got the squirters for the windshield and the windshield wipers. Again, those mirrors are body color. They would be black. I've left those in the body color. We've got around back our arts and crafts spare tire cover. The decal on that is from Second Chance Red Lines. That is from the same decal sheet as we pulled the decals for the Scrambler. I used the Golden Hawk bird and the gold letters on the Jeep, so that was from that same decal sheet, Second Chance Red Lines. Down below there you can see the crossflow muffler. It had some sort of tailpipe thing cast into the, or molded into the plastic on the bottom. So I just scrubbed that off and made a little tailpipe back there. Give it a little bit more of a realistic look. Underneath, it's not a whole lot underneath. It's some transmission detail and drive shafts. But I think from what it was, that green, you know, and of course it's a mainline matchbox Jeep, so not a lot of detail. We did bring it quite a ways. I want to thank everyone for dropping in, checking out the videos, new subscribers and old alike. Thank you so much. I'm really praying for everybody and hope that everyone's doing well here these last few weeks. I'm looking forward next week. We're going to have on the 25th the 3 Blind Mice build. A lot of builders going to be taking part in this, and the vehicle will be a 72 Ranchero GT. So you probably want to check that out. There'll be a lot of cool stuff to see. And beyond that, I just don't know, guys. We'll have to see what life throws at us as far as what we're going to build, and that. So not much planned beyond that, but check us out next week for the 3 Blind Mice build. Like I said, thanks everyone for stopping in. God bless everyone, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks again.